Alrighty, y'all. So, welcome back, y'all. So, day 30, rest day. I feel tore up from yesterday's leg day, so I am very glad that I do legs and then do a rest day afterwards. Because, man, my glutes and my hammies are messed up. Like, it sucks just kind of sitting. But it is what it is. All in the name of being able to squat properly and grow them glutes. Man, I don't know why that was so hard to say. But yesterday, weighed in, still just kind of chilling at 198-ish. Just 198.25. So the bounce between 197 and 198.5 is still just solid for the last week and a half, just about 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy. So day one of working out again, weighed in at 205. And that was after coming home and, kind of chilling, relaxing. Well, I guess really it would have been day 7 is when I weighed myself. Because I came home, kind of worked out, just kind of testing to see where the waters were. That was really the first 6-7 days. And just to kind of set my base lifting schedule. During that first week, I just kind of enjoyed all of the food I wanted to enjoy. Wasn't doing anything because I just got done, doing a bunch of pretty hard labor for the last 3 months before that. So I was like, you know what? I kind of just want a break, a little recovery. I'm just going to enjoy myself. So, first weigh-in day ended up being 205. Most of that was probably just retained water and just excess glycogen. So, then from day 7 to basically day 19, 20, I would say. Yeah, probably about that. Just slowly dropped weight, got down to that 197-ish mark, and then just kind of since then, so I guess for the last 9 days, just been bouncing between 197 and 198.5. I have had, some meals that kind of exceed the caloric deficit, but not by drastically a bunch, except for last night. I had a pretty extravagant snack session, per se. I had a bunch of homemade sugar cookies. They were so delicious, but whatever. It is what it is. So last night I kind of overate by 1,000 calories. Putting me up around that 2,800 mark. But it is what it is. So, last 5 days, been consistently doing my 1 mile walk. And I think we're going to go into 2 mile walks a day. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. Start upping that caloric expenditure. So, I believe we are at that point. Diet-wise, it's just going to kind of stay the same. Going to keep shooting for that 1,750-ish calories a day. It's 173 grams of protein. And then the rest is all kind of carbs and fats. I think it's 60, we'll call it 70 grams of fats and about 100 grams of carbs. So, not nothing extravagant there. And those kind of move around a little bit depending upon what meals I'm having. But right now I'm kind of just really locked in on just enjoying some seasoned ground beef and some sweet corn and making homemade beef and broccoli. For whatever reason, for the last week, that is all I have craved. And I have no problems with that. So, doing good on that portion of it for the most part. We definitely, the next 4 days of training are going to end up just being the Same thing we worked up to last week. Now we're just going to re-hit it. Start letting the tendons and ligaments and joints and everything kind of catch up for this next little 4-day training block. And then maybe the next training little 4-day block after that. Just want to make sure everything's growing and staying pretty even on the stress factors. But as for muscle strength, since we've come back, we're squatting the same weight for actually a couple more reps than we were before we left. So that is awesome to get to inside of 30 days. No actual back pain from squatting, so that's awesome. That issue is still under control, which is great. Bench press, that is back into like the 85 to 90% range. Deadlift, same thing, back into the 85 to 90% range of what I was lifting before I left. Those lifts are quite stronger than my squats, so that kind of makes sense. So I have a lot more there to say per se lose. Just from obviously the type of activity. You're not normally bench pressing, you're not normally deadlifting a bunch throughout the day. I was doing a bunch of like digging and construction stuff, so I was kind of like in that squatty position a lot, and I was doing a lot of steps and like walking up and down a hill every day. So, and ladders. So that kind of helped kept the squat strength up per se, and maybe even made it a little bit better, just because that was prolonged exposure to a different style of leg training in a way. But that, we've made great progress back to that, so I'm happy with getting back to a 265 bench in literally just 20 something days, and then getting back to a 365 deadlift in 20 something days, and back to a 225 squat inside of a month. I can't complain about that at all. That is awesome progress for just kind of coming back and weird. Just kind of coming back and getting that progress done. So the power just went out though, so that's interesting. Let me go ahead and pause this. Alrighty, y'all. Well, so the power and stuff went out for a little bit, so got out of there, came up here, showered, and now I am getting ready to get this video posted. Funny enough, well, scheduled to post, I should say, but now I'll have to go ahead and edit it for these two clips to go together and whatnot. But yeah, so like I was saying, inside of the last 30 days, made some really good progress on strength. Weight's gone down a bit, and now we're just going to start ramping up cardio and work on definitely adding some more weight. I just know that the next two probably we're going to go ahead and chill on an increase in the weight and just re-hit what we've hit and just become a little more accustomed to this current point here, since everything's kind of back to what I'd like to consider a good baseline. So the first 30 days of, when you're getting into something, you're feeling it out, you're going to make some progress, and then you're really going to find where your base is. This is what I'm going to consider like my beginning point, if that makes sense. So, because I'm coming back from having time off and everything else, I'm not just starting fresh. So that first 30 days is just kind of bringing me back up, and has brought me to what my new current baseline is. So, with that, we're really going to push during these next 60 days to try to hit that body fat percentage goal of less than 15%. It'd be great to get closer to 13, but if we can hit 15, that's all we're trying to do inside of this first 90 days here. Just getting ready for summer. And then we'll go through
a 90-day block of main gaining. So instead of going through a cut period, we're going to go into maintenance calories and then see how much strength we can put on while staying down at that maintenance body fat percentage. Because if I could stay around that 15% and just get bigger, that's the overall goal. I'm trying to be, 200 pounds at that 15-ish percent, preferably like 13% body fat at 200. That's my overall big goal. So, the weight itself coming down is just an unfortunate necessity to reach that body fat percentage, to then start working on main gaining for a 90-day block. And then we'll decide if we're going to keep main gaining or if we're going to bulk a little bit going into fall, and then work on a nice slow cut during the winter time coming back into spring of next year. So this is the layout more or less we're looking at. So the next 60 days we're going to really ramp up the cardio, just start increasing it a little bit every week, so every 2 training weeks, and see where we end up. So that's the goal there. Diet's pretty much on point, like 95% of it. So that other 5% we're going to work on over the next 30 days to get us really dialed in for that last 30-day push. And I think we'll be there. I think it'll just take 90 days to really go from the 23.5-ish, 24% body fat I was probably sitting at, maybe 22. I don't think much lower than that, down to that 15%, and have it be maintainable for us. So with that, guys, make sure you're working toward your goals, getting your stuff done, and most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.